Hi, this is David. Welcome to the channel. This is about Wilderside gear, and we're going to be talking about the Freedom Launcher today. What I'm going to demonstrate today is how I like to mount a PA-12 mount, and we're going to be using this kayak demo stand. And the good thing about it is that there's a cutaway in this kayak stand, so you can actually see the mount. Normally what's going to happen is that this is going to be buried inside the gunwale. You don't see it. And you want to make sure that the washers are on the back of the blind bracket. You can tell the back because you've got these brass inserts sticking out nice and proud. It doesn't have the bevel. The top's got the bevel. And make sure that that curved edge is on the inboard side of the boat. And then by whatever means you can figure out, you're going to be fishing this wire, through these holes that you've already drilled. You might use some stiff hanger going through another hatch in your kayak or whatever it is. Okay, so let's assume that's basically where you're at in the process. The PA-12 mounting bracket, angle bracket, looks like this. It's some really stout aluminum, and it'll come pre-drilled with 2 center holes for the crossbar and then the 2 external holes for the kayak mount. You're going to want this vertical flange for a PA-12 to be normally inboard because there's room and you can do it. On a PA-14, you're going to turn the bracket around and it'll look something like that. But we're going to do a PA-12 installation today. You'll notice that there's these moon washers that allow for some angulation of that joint on both the top and the bottom, as well as this silicone washer just allows everything to stay together and provides that environmental seal that sits on top of the gunnel. I'm going to turn those moon washers so that they allow nice rotation of that bracket so that it can be the way it wants to be. Now it's going to want to be flat with the crossbar once we get the crossbar mounted. But the first thing we're going to do is pull that up tight, and then one at a time or both at a time we're going to try to now wiggle it a little bit, thread into the blind bracket. And I can feel that they're both engaging just great. So what I did was I loosened this up so that I could put the crossbar mounting holes in from the bottom. That's going to work the best. And then slide that down, and then they're basically going to sit there until they're tightened. You go ahead and tighten this back down again. All right, we are ready to go ahead and grab the crossbar. Now this has already been mounted once and it's been pre-drilled. So there's the outer holes for the Freedom bracket, the inner holes for the kayak bracket. And so we're going to grab those inner holes. And it's going to look something like that. I would not use a torque wrench on these 4 center bolts because the tube is hollow at this location. There's no center stiffener. You just need them to be snug. You might want to put some Loctite on this joint. But you've now made a rigid structure, and there's just a little bit of play, and we can go ahead now, and now that we have, those can just be pulled out. They've done their job. The kayak bracket is now flush with the crossbar, and the last step is to snug these 4 bolts down. I'm going to do that by hand. But you will be able to make sure that the moon washer is oriented so that it can rock if it needs to. Okay, so there we have it. We have the crossbar installed. That is now very, very solid and rigid and ready to receive the loads that get put on it in order to support the weight of this baby. I hope this video has been helpful, helps you understand how the PA12 mounting system works in a little more detail. Take advantage of this cutout on this display stand so you can see the inner workings of how the mount works. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to info@weldersite.life. And until next time, tight lines.